I don't have the fancy drum roll like the music stuff they all
really?
do, but welcome to my setup.
No,
Welcome
man, I
to
like it a lot.
my world. Welcome to my my mess of stuff.
I like your little. See, man, I love this.
So I try to put like a
Yeah.
little personality behind it.
Yeah.
Just, and I may do some shelvings and do some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Plus it kind of like fills in like an empty space or
Uh-huh.
whatever. So your setup's super cool. But I think if y'all each put like a little personality
Yeah, that's
twist,
what we need
like
to do
maybe
for-
paint one
for
wall
sure. Mm-hmm.
or something, and I don't know. I mean, get creative, dude.
Yeah, we'll get. We'll get crazy with it.
So-
We'll get crazy with it.
For those that don't know, you know what? And I thought about this, but I was on the phone, and I just time passed by. But I was gonna put on my OTG
Bro, you should have.
shirt, but I think it's in the laundry bin.
That's all right. It's just because you wore it yesterday.
There you go. Yeah. I've been wearing it
that's fine.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Phil from OTG, right?
Yep.
So thanks for having me on y'all's because that was fun. Now you can kind of be on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you do these often?
I've
Where you
done a
come-
few,
Okay.
not a whole lot. It's not like a regular thing,
Yeah.
but I've done a few for
Okay.
sure, and it's always really fun to see how people see what they do, see how they
Their setup,
yeah,
their room,
exactly.
and all that stuff.
You know, and I'm always curious too. I don't know if we talked about like when I first got started in like the entrepreneurship world, like video and photography was one of the first things I tried that didn't
Yeah, I
work
remember you
out.
told me, yeah.
But I'm really into equipment and cameras, so I'm always curious. Like, you remember I was asking you, like, hey, what software do you
Yeah.
use and stuff? Like, I'm really interested in that stuff too. So I'm always curious of all the different ways that this stuff can come together.
Well, that's what we were saying earlier. It's like it's cool because you can literally like look, check out my setup. This is what I use. This is the mics, and I was
Right.
giving you another option. Like I use the mobile like Rode mics where we can do that. But man, for those that don't know, for those that haven't kind of seen you in and out of local people's stories and social media and all that, who are you and what is it that exactly that you do?
Yeah, my name's Philip. I own a gym in Webster called OTG Fitness. OTG stands for Only the Greatest. Only the Greatest is a brand that is just looking to help people live their best life, become the greatest version of themselves. That's kind of like our tagline, along with giving people an environment that not only do they feel comfortable in the gym, but also an environment where they feel confident in themselves and their abilities. So it's just a little bit of a different approach to fitness that has a lot more to it than fitness, and we can talk about all those things if you want. But
Yeah,
first and foremost, it's a fitness brand, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say a brand itself. I think it's like a family because I watch your stuff and I watch like the podcast and things like that, and just watching kind of everybody kind of just getting the feel from like different perspectives around the gym. It seems like you guys are building like a nice family of people, not just like a gym thing, like so. For me, outside looking in, it looks cool. It looks super cool.
It's definitely way more than a gym, and I'm not saying that because I own the place. Like, it's from the clients themselves, but for sure that was the goal from the beginning, was to, like I said, provide a place where people feel comfortable and confident. Because I grew up overweight, and I know what it's like to be made fun of. I know what it's like to not want to take your shirt off at the pool at summer parties. I know what it's like to be made fun of, to be called the fat kid.
Yep.
In high school, my nickname was Fat Phil. And so I know how that feels.
Kids
And-
are mean. We're mean. Dude.
Yeah,
We're
kids
mean.
are the worst, dude. Kids are the worst for sure. But I want to show people what fitness did for me. And that's our goal. You have to lower the barrier of entry to allow someone to get started. And it's the same thing, like even in business ownership and in the success world, right? So many people think about stuff all the time, but they won't do it because they're scared or worried. The barrier of entry seems too high. So our goal is to get that barrier of entry as low as possible. That way we can get them started, because once that self-confidence builds up, then, their potential is limitless. And that's, if you look at our logo, it's a pyramid, right? It's because we believe that health and fitness is the foundation of your life. And then once you do, you see how the T goes, it goes forever.
Okay.
It never stops.
Yeah.
Once you build the foundation of your life, your potential is limitless. And that's what we believe.
I will say that when I think I've said this before, I think on y'all's is what it was too. It's like, I've never gone to the gym and been like, man, I feel bad, like after
Never.
a workout, like I feel good. And sometimes I push myself through. I mean, I was running around here before you came in, getting this place cleaned up and organized just because, life and work and business and, everything else. Right. But I still tried to make time to, if I can't at least go to the gym, I'll go run.
There you go.
I have to do something sometimes the gym is not the most convenient thing for me because it's about 25, 30-minute drive, more or less, give or take. And then I'm there for about an hour, hour and a half. And then I'm driving another 25, 30 minutes. So it's 2 hours of my day versus I can go run for 30 minutes, come back home, and I'm done.
Yeah.
So I at least try to do something. And it sucks getting started because it's sluggish. And, it's like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to break that routine. But once I get the momentum going, if I don't do it, like if I got skip a day or 2 or 3 days or so, I'm like, okay, Fat, well, you need to go run. Like, you're getting sluggish.
The mental benefit, is so big, and that's really what we try to instill into people. The way that you look is a byproduct of the way that you feel.
And confidence.
Confidence. Yeah, if you
level.
feel good, you will do good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we want people to feel good because then you can reach that potential and be that person that you talk to in your head. Like, you can be that person in real life.
It's good. I think what you guys are doing is just giving somebody a place to call home and be able to like put that one foot in and test the waters and feel that like, hey, it's warm, it's comfortable, jump in. We're here. So where did the idea of OTG start? Was it your idea?
Yeah.
And then, okay. So where did that idea come from?
Well, I guess, like I said earlier,
I started being fat.
To be honest, that was... Well, there's more to it than that, but that was a major one. I'm not going to lie. I was tired of kids telling me I was fat. I was in a very bad space mentally. My mom died when I was a teenager, so when I was 15 years old... Was
it like a health condition or something?
Yeah, she had a heart attack.
Sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah, she was overweight, not healthy, and had a heart attack and died at 36 years old.
Holy shit.
And I was 15, and I grew up with a single mom, so I've never met my dad. And so I was I was left with my grandparents, and both my grandparents passed away very young as well, 63 and 64 years old. So, at that point, I'm like 20 and kind of nowhere to go, right? But even before that last incident where my grandparents, I had gone through like a 4-year really deep depression from, like 15 years old, maybe until like 19 when I decided to lose weight. And, losing weight, and I actually lost weight without exercise, so we can like talk about that separate, but losing weight and then starting to work out afterwards, because like people were like, first I was too fat and then I was too skinny. People were like, man, you don't look very healthy, you look too skinny, so that people are always going to find a way. But anyways, that what I just told you sounds like a very difficult like time or whatever.
You just brushed it off like it was just like, hey, okay, we feel depression, lost everybody, like life was like dandy.
Well, because I had this thing of fitness.
Yeah.
For myself.
You're grounding your
for sure. And what I try to, and the reason I tell that story is because I want people to know that it's only because of the things that fitness gave me, the confidence, the discipline that it taught me has allowed me to get to where I am now. And so that's really what Only the Greatest is about, is to show you and show everyone else in this world that no matter where you come from, it is possible to make it. It's not only possible to be fit and possible to feel good and be healthy and live a long, fulfilled life, but it's possible to be great. And it's possible to change other people's lives. It's possible to be successful. It's possible to get out of, the like wherever it is that you come from, however tough your life is now. Like, let me just tell you that it is possible to make it. But without your health and without your fitness, my mom died when she was 36. You're not going to make it there. And that's what OTG is, and that's where it comes from.
How did you maneuver through the fact that like I could not imagine at a young age, you said 20?
What's that?
Wait, grandparents were at 20, right?
Yeah.
Fit mom was at 15? Mm-hmm. I was a turd at 20. Like I was just like, I was spoiled, a little bit of self-entitled, like privileged as much as you want to call it. Like my parents gave us a little bit of extra. We didn't have like I always said we had enough. We didn't have a lot of the luxuries or whatever, but we had a little bit more than like the basics, right? Like they took care of us, right? So like I could not imagine maneuvering or being put in a corner, because that's really what I think ultimately happened. Like you hit 20, you have gone through the process of, I don't know if you've even still then have grieved the loss of your mom, but you go through that, then, time, right? It doesn't really heal, but you just kind of learn to cope with it. Well, then you get hit with the grandparents too. what is that feeling now that like I would have went off the deep end? Like you said, a little bit of the depression. Like how did you?
I was already, by the time from like 15 to 19 years old is when things were real tough for me, I guess, like emotionally and stuff. But I had started, I'd lost weight around like 19 years old and started working out stuff. So I was already I was on my way like to feeling better by the time, I was kind of left when my grandparents passed away. So I think at that time, really, I didn't really think much of it, to be honest with you. And something that people have gotten upset with me as an adult about is that death doesn't really hurt. So I think I've just been through it so much. I've dealt with loss and dealt with not having that. It just doesn't. It's just a fact of life for me at this point.
I'm probably a little not screwed up, but I'm probably against like what normal people do, because like I look at it simply as like, did you expect for them to live forever?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand it sucks. I understand, and also too, like I haven't lost a parent, so I lost a grandfather. We weren't really close, but I did know him and stuff like that. But even till now, like when things get tough or things get pretty bad, like my mom got sick, a couple months back or almost a year or so, and everybody was like really stressed out and stuff like that. And I don't want to say that I was just like, if shit happens, it happens, right? But I understood that like there's no reason to stress about it, because it's not going to change the fact that if it's time, it's time. Right. And I truly am a believer that you can't do anything when it's your time. You can't cheat it. You can't. You might think you cheated, it just wasn't your time yet. And that's one of the things for me that like I try to live by, where I don't know what happens here tomorrow, right? Like we'll walk away from here, and this may be the last time I ever see you or you ever see me. And I just have to be like in the moment. I'm learning to be in the moment and just enjoy the people now, enjoy this, be around people you love and you enjoy, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen. We lost my grandpa, and I think there's still a lot of tension between the siblings, because we can't seem to get along and hang out and just have like a good quality family time. And I don't know if it's a Hispanic culture thing, because I've heard somebody else say that too, like on the Hispanic side, but it's like we pick at each other. And it's just like, I don't know. I think there was just some differences. It's something that like they needed to get out when grandpa went. And I think because of that, there was a lot of anger. And I think there's a lot of like poking and picking at each other because of, I don't know.
Yes, there could be, man. Who knows? Maybe you could be that guy that like speaks up and tries to figure it out or something. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's important or.
I'll invite them over sometimes, and I'm just like, and they start to kind of, I was like, no, not my house.
Oh, okay.
Not at my house. Or like, I'm probably, with the exception of maybe one or two other family members, like I get my little cousins over and I try to keep everybody together from time to time. Like, hey, let's just come over. We'll shoot the shit. We'll play beer pong, or we'll order pizza. Let's just get together, And the cousins have gotten a lot better at getting together, more so than the adults, just because we just got to the points where we're just like, man, they're just gonna do what they're gonna do. We'll hang out, So, what happened? Where were you at career-wise? Where were you at business-wise around the age of 20?
Oh, dude, you know how like some people say that entrepreneurs are born? I don't believe in that, because that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I had my first business thought of any kind when I was 24. So at that time, man, I was just going to college at the mainland, trying to get a degree. I didn't really know I changed my degree, I think, a few different times. I ended up not necessarily dropping out of college. I just kind of stopped going after a while. But at that time, I was working at the dog track, and I left that though to go work for my friend's dad in the manufacturing industry. And I did that from 20 until I left that to do the OTG Fitness. And so, but at that time, no thought whatsoever of like business ownership. I was just riding by, you know what I mean? I didn't really know. All I knew was that I liked to work out, around that time. A few years after that, though, I guess I was maybe, let's see, we opened OTG in 2018, so probably like 2014, so that would have made me like 22, 23 years old. I did start personal training part-time, and that's when
what caused you to like, what caused you to like hit that trigger? And I didn't mean to cut you off, but like when did you like switch for like, I could probably do this for a living, or I could probably do this for like side money or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were passionate about it, so it really wasn't a job.
So really, what happened was, well, I was living with my friend, and in the back of their house, they had an extra little room kind of situation. So I was renting a room from them, and around that time, one of our other friends, who we kind of started when we first started working out, we kind of all worked out together, and he started a personal training business where he met people like in a park or something like that.
Smart.
Yeah, and he actually, it was, man, I don't know if I ever would have started if it wasn't for I'm sure I would have eventually, but he actually had a client that he couldn't, schedules didn't align. And so he was like, hey man, if you want to train this client, we'll split the money or whatever, you know? And I was like, cool, man, sounds good. And so I probably did that for like a couple months, but I didn't really like it. I didn't like meeting people. It felt very I don't know. It just didn't feel super professional to me. It didn't really vibe for me. The clients were kind of weird. But anyway, so I started at the time I was dating a girl that wanted to do like fitness competitions. And so she went and signed up at this gym that trained for that. Right. And so she was like, hey, you know, I know you don't like this training thing, but this person that I'm training with is looking for another trainer, like part-time. I was like, well, let me go try. So I went and interviewed, and she hired me. And so, yeah, I did it part-time there for like almost 4 years.
What were you doing on full-time?
Manufacturing.
Okay. So like by the plants or something like that?
No, actually in the security industry. Okay. So I've pretty much worked for small business my whole life. I've never worked for a large business.
Good
ever.
for you, dude.
Actually, well, my first job when I was 16, I worked at IHOP.
Okay.
For like a summer. But other than that, I've worked for a small business my whole life. And so the company I worked for, I love dearly. My boss, the owner of the company, when I started, we had like 11 employees. By the time I left, we had like 20. So we definitely grew, and he moved me up, and he actually he wanted me to go back to school. I did end up going back to school. My degree is in management, and nothing to do with fitness, because that's what, he kind of wanted me to go to get like some management.
That's what he needed from
exactly. So I did that, and this man was definitely probably the closest thing to a father figure, other than my grandfather. You know, growing up, my grandpa was really great. But in my older life, you know, this man was very much a father figure to me, and taught me a lot about hard work, a lot about discipline. He taught me that sometimes, even though it sucks, you get to work at 6 in the morning and you don't leave till midnight. And that's just how life is.
Is that like part of being a man?
No, but it's part of being running a successful small business.
Yeah. It's
That's
just like,
for sure.
it's just the fact that like this is just shit you just have to do.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's none.
Yeah.
Do you want a better life? Do you want this business to thrive?
Yeah.
You just got to show up.
The point is, he taught me hard work, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to understand like what hard work is and what it requires. You have to know that sometimes you have to tell your friends you can't go out at night. You have to do these things if you want to be successful. And he showed me, and he was just a regular guy that actually dropped out of high school and now owns two different businesses actually, and super taught himself everything. No formal education.
Some people just got it, man.
And this guy just has it. But the point, he taught me that it's possible for a regular guy, because I just considered, and even now, but especially back then, just a regular person can have their own business and turn it into something, and touch people all around the world, because our company, we had customers all around the world, and it just showed me that it is possible to do these things. And, leaving that career, stable career to try to do it myself it was very difficult.
What were some of the things that
Very
was difficult about it? The security of it, the steady paycheck, but like, what were some of the emotions you were feeling through that?
A lot of it was just, for sure, I was a little bit worried, like, is this going to work or whatever? But I was pretty confident in myself at the time. I would say that my confidence was much higher then than it is now, probably. I guess that just as you get older, your risk avertness like changes, you know?
I think it's because you're younger and you're just kind of like naive and just kind of like, eh.
Oh,
like,
100%.
I'm just gonna go I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah,
so like,
100%.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more calculated then because you don't really understand the fear or like the risk over it, you know?
Yeah, no, you don't understand it all. But I guess at the time also, kind of the last thing that really took me to make it okay with myself is I have a couple of rentals, so I was doing some real estate stuff at the time, and all I knew was that I had discovered that I wanted more out of life. So like I had a couple rental houses.
You still have some,
yeah,
right?
I still have two. And so I did that. I was umpiring baseball on the weekends. I was personal training in the evenings.
Man, let me get these dogs real quick.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
They're gonna be. I'll just let it run.
Yeah, just keep letting it run. It don't matter. What are they barking at?
I don't know. The neighbor will come up or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey. What are you barking at? Attack, full on attack.
Yeah. It's all good, man. I have a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The damn.
Yes, it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat.
All right. No,
man,
so we're
that's
okay.
funny.
So you were telling me
I remember.
he's not gonna stop. I'll just leave it alone. There's probably too many people there.
It don't matter.
But so it was the sense of security,
Oh.
maybe kind of you were dealing with.
I had so many side hustles. I was making pretty much just as much money after work as I was at work.
What were some of those side hustles you had?
Personal training, real estate, umpiring baseball were the three main ones. And then other than that, just if anybody needed anything, like I would just do it.
Why didn't you get into real estate? It's just not your thing?
I love fitness.
Yeah.
I love changing people's lives.
Yeah.
I love talking to people and letting them know that it is. Dude, I can't explain to you how different my life is now.
It's a sense of like, it's a chilling feeling giving somebody some joy and you get nothing out of it. Like there's nothing, I get nothing out of helping you other than just the feel good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like that right there, like, dude, I don't know. It's when someone comes to me and depends on me for something,
Mm-hmm.
as stressful as it is, I'm going to take this on and I'm going to figure it out. Just give me some time. Let me figure this out. And once I do go through it and I do figure it out for them, I'm like, oh, that feels good.
And then when you see them, like, I don't know, I just, and my life is nothing special, but compared
I think it is.
to
I don't
where,
think you should say that. I think it is.
Compared to where, like, dude, my mom never made more than $15 an hour her whole life. You know what I mean? She lost her job when I was 10 and we had to move with my grandparents. And so for the last 5 years of her life, she lived back at home, and to see what I do now, like, is all because of fitness, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And just, it just makes work a lot easier. And
would you consider it work?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very difficult.
Okay.
Very difficult. People that say if you
find something you love or whatever.
That's garbage, trash. But here's the thing. If you find something you love, it's okay that it's so hard because it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
To watch one person make the same transformation that I did and watch their life change, that you're going to eventually see more of those stories, and it makes the long days and long nights and frustrations, it makes it worth it. It's not easy. It's not easy no matter what. And with real estate, I never had that feeling.
That fire that was like...
No. Yeah. And with fitness, you do, because every single day I feel like I'm actually making a difference. And people that do real estate make a huge difference. I'm not saying they don't. It just didn't align with
what you had and what you felt.
With my passion, with my fire, the things that give me energy. And I think that it's really important that people do a career that they're in alignment with, because then they can actually fulfill their own potential, and I hope that someday I can. We're far from that, but
you also I think about this all the time too. It's like these, somebody made the comment and it was like, everybody always talks. I think it's a podcast or someone I was listening to. And they were like, oh, these are, like, oh, the good old days, back in the good old days. And it's like, well, if you really think about it, like, we're living in the good old days. Like, a year or two from now, 3 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, damn, you remember when that's all I had going on?
What podcast was that? Because me and my friend Daryl went on a run. What's today? Friday. It must have been.
I think it was one with like Alex Harmozy or whatever.
Oh, okay, I like that dude. Yeah, he's big in the fitness space. I read his book recently.
He's super. That's where I got that comment that I made from y'all last time when I was on y'all's, and I was just like, because nothing matters, and we're all gonna like turn to dust and just like be nothing. Because nothing matters. That's all the more reason why you should go after what you want. Because at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. We're not gonna leave this. I mean, we're not gonna take this with us. It's just gonna be like a speck of dust that we leave behind, a memory that eventually your kids are gonna come in or whatever, and then you're just gonna be grandpa, and that's it. And then, oh, that's my great grandpa, and like after that, it dies. Like I don't know my great grandfather, right? So it's just kind of like, it sucks. It's part of it. It's just life. But because of the fact that like eventually you're just gonna be a memory down the timeline of life, the world. Why not? Why don't you chase what the hell you want to do?
Yeah, make that memory that people in the future are talking about. Make it worth talking about.
Yeah, break that barrier, break that ground. Like set a different foundation. If the foundation in your family is going one way and like you don't like it and you don't like where it's going, snip it. Be the change. Yeah. Be the damn change. And in a world where, like I always say this time, we can create anything, we can do anything. Technology and social media has gotten me here now. Meeting you, meeting Sean, Daryl I haven't met yet, but it's opened the door to. I've never met Coastal Junk. Jared. I've never met him personally.
Right.
But
you feel like you know him a little bit.
Yeah. And I was just saying, I was like, white boy reggae vibes, dude.
Yeah, I know.
But he ended up linking up with my buddy Grayson that does the concrete fencing work. Well, then his old lady does real estate. So it's this like small. When I saw him on there, I was like, this is cool. Like, this is cool that like slowly there's just this like tight knit community of people that like we kind of all are just this group of people that just know each other and have at least brushed up and had a conversation with each other where, dude, networking is so easy and so much fun. Like, it's just...
Yeah, it makes... And I like having these conversations with people, and we talked about it earlier. You know, the whole, like, formal networking thing didn't really work for me, where you go around a room and you take 30 seconds to talk about your business. Bro, I'd rather take 30 minutes and talk about you.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about you as a person.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned is, and this is not, like, we're not, like, talking about sales or anything, but people buy from people.
Yeah.
So I want to know who you are, not what your business does, right? Yeah, I need to know that later. But first I need to know that you're a good person, right? And that we can vibe and we can talk and we can chat and I can trust you. Then I'll find out what you do for business and I'll find a way to provide you with business.
Yeah.
But let's worry about that later.
And that's, dude, and that's why, I don't know. That's me personally, like, that's why I like the car stuff, because it's something that I enjoy and that I'm passionate about. And then all it does, it just kind of opens the door for more people that like are in the same thing that I like. I just so happen to have these resources. Boom. And that's saying like, oh, hit that guy up that has that old truck or this or that or whatever, you know? And it's just, I don't know. It's a form for me to like not be that formal, quick, you know, here's my 30-second spiel of like who I am, whatever. Yep. Speed dating, go to the next person.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
see, and that's what
it's annoying.
That's what formal business networking is. And even now, like when I'm going out in places, like my girlfriend and I say we go to like a dinner or something, and there's a group of people there, and obviously everyone's talking and chatting about what they do. You know, I keep it real simple. Hey, I'm in fitness. You know, this is what I do. If it sparks a conversation, awesome. If it doesn't, that's awesome too. We're just there to talk.
Yeah.
And just like we're doing right now, and that's what I like about like how our podcast has come along. At first, it was just me and Daryl, and then we had a little bit of guest stuff. And now we're really focused on, you know, growing relationships, but not this like, hey, here's what my business does. Send me referrals.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Tell me about you. Tell me about your business, how I got started. Cool. Awesome. Now I know somebody that I like, that I talk to, and you just happen to have these resources.
Yeah.
Done.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, you know, you build trust within people.
And that's what people ask me sometimes too, because like there's some like I'm a new agent, man. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm out here working and grinding, trying to get, you know, my foot in the door. You know, learn, be a sponge in this industry, right? Just soaking everything up. And some of the people that are also new agents, dual careers, like, dude, how do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I literally just talk to people. Same. And like, I asked people, hey, how was your day? Oh, it was good. oh, what made it good? Or like, man, just tired, whatever. I was like, man, me too, man. Work's been kicking my ass, and yeah, same here, man. I was like, you off now? Or you off for the weekend or whatever? Boom, opens the door. What do you do for work? Oh, cool, awesome. Hey, oh, I used to work there. Or, hey, it's not, have genuine conversations with people.
Yeah, stop trying to talk about your business so much and just talk about you as a person.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important because, especially in the fitness industry, it's people, of course, they want to talk about their goals and they want to, and those things are all important. But what I tell like all the guys that work with us, like over there that works at the gym, what I tell everyone is it's personal before it's trainer.
Yeah.
The most important role, personal before trainer. So you have to get a personal relationship with these people. And the main thing is in fitness, the main thing that we're trying to do is get them to stay. Because it doesn't matter what diet you do. It doesn't matter what workout routine you follow, what cardio routine you follow. The most important thing is that you do it for long enough. So if I build a relationship with someone that's strong enough, that they stick around for long enough, we will eventually get to their goal.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to build that relationship and get to know them as a person. And that's the most important part of this whole equation.
How did you, is that something that you learned over time, or is that something that you kind of learned studying other people? Or
I think I learned it over time. I remember, like, when I used to do personal training part-time, I just remember building a strong relationship with the clients. And, I didn't have anything to do with, the way the business ran or anything at that time, right? I just started realizing that some of these clients had trust in me that they didn't have in the other people that worked there for whatever reason. I really didn't know what it was at the time. I was just being me. I was just being myself, I just loved helping people. And, they would make comments to me that I knew that they weren't making to anyone else, the other employees. And so I was like, man, this, and then one time, actually, there was a few different people, and I remember them very clearly, that told me like, hey, if you ever wanted to do your own thing, I think that you could do it, and I would support you, right? And I was just like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, what are you talking? What do you mean? And that I think that's just what kind of made me realize that it's so important. And then also, I'm very introverted. Like, people don't realize it because I'm always in a situation that requires me to be an extrovert, and so I can turn that switch on. But naturally, dude, like when we leave here, dude, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go in my house. My girlfriend's out of town right now, so I'm gonna go home and like
hermit crab it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, like,
exactly. So, but what I noticed was I can turn it on as needed, and I forget where I don't even remember where I was going with this.
We can go there, but is that something that you have? Because my older brother is similar to that. Mm-hmm. I'm the freaking light bug in the room that's bzzz, like everywhere, like all over the place, right? Is that something that like were you always able to turn it off, or did you struggle with it, and how did you kind of overcome that?
I overcame it because I knew it was part of being successful.
I'm trying to run a business.
Yeah, that's seriously. No, that's it. Yep, for sure. And now I think it's easier because I've done it so much, and it also depends what we're talking about. Like, if you want to, it depends on the conversation, the context,
car shit with
the environment.
No.
Yeah, exactly. It depends. Yeah. Some car stuff. I just got a new car. We can talk about that. Yeah. But some stuff. But for sure, like when I start talking to a client and I can see their passion, like easy, on, no problem. So it very much just depends on the context of the situation. But naturally, I'm very much introverted for sure, and it took me. I think just realizing that and watching a lot of YouTube videos, to be honest.
You can learn anything on there.
Yeah, a lot of YouTube videos about people in the success world talking about how important it is to build relationships and be able to talk to people. And then I just accepted it for what it is. And
it's just part of doing business and having a successful business. It's part of
doing business for sure.
What was one of the hardest things for you to do? And well, I asked this. I mean, obviously I know the answer, but was there ever a time where you were kind of discouraged? Because me outside looking in, there's a gym on every corner, right? So was that ever something that like bothered you, where you were just like, no, there's a gym on every corner? I don't know, but or you were just so passionate about it that you just didn't give a shit? Like,
well, I mean, there's a real estate agent on every corner too. What do you think about that?
This is true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, no, that never really bothered me because I knew they were doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I knew that I could bring something to our industry that's never been seen before and do things the way no one's ever done them before. And that's what we do. And that's why we're successful.
And that's I think that kind of goes back to what I was telling you, where like there's something about the stuff that you see coming out of that gym, coming out of the people that are involved in there. It just it seems a lot more genuine, and it seems a lot more like a family than anything, instead of just like, hey, sign up for a membership. Thank you. I'm out, you know?
And I have some backstory on why I think that is. I think that that's because most people in my position, like gym owner and stuff, they grew up fit. Kids have been asking them about workout advice since 7th grade when they first went to the weight room, because they're the natural athlete. They're the high school quarterback, right? They've been in shape their whole life, and they don't even know why. It's just like it's a gift.
Yeah.
So they go into fitness.
They don't know what it feels like to be the other guy.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have the what's the word? I don't know why I'm blanking on the word right now, but where you put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think about it.
I don't know why I cannot think of.
Not like experience, but like walking in their shoes. They don't know what it is to walk in their shoes.
No, I don't know why I can't think of the word right now. But anyways, like I can relate to the people. Yeah, me too. I can relate to the people better, I think. And so there's definitely there's no ego going into, my conversations with people. They're real. Like when they tell me something that they're dealing with, like I get it. I know. And that matters.
But that's also got to be hard for. Oh, I don't know. It may not be hard for you, but I imagine because at a young age you went through some stuff. So like, there's probably you're going through it. I understand, but what are we gonna do now? Like that kind of attitude.
And that in the beginning, I think that I got by, but I did personal training part-time for long enough to like learn some of this stuff before going all in by myself. So I think I learned that if you just talk to people, they'll release to you what needs to be said.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a good listener, and I've gotten better at this by having a podcast for 2 years.
Dude, same.
Yeah, you become a better listener, right?
Yeah.
And so, but same thing with when you're talking to clients, dude, I'm telling you, quality questions. If you ask quality, and I learned this a long time ago, but if you ask quality questions, they will talk themselves into whatever needs to be done and whatever needs to be said. They already know. Here's the thing, dude, people know.
Yeah.
People know right and wrong. Everybody knows more salad, less pizza.
Yeah.
Bro, that's it. I mean, that's not it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really, that's the answer. And everyone knows this. But to be able to do it is a different story. But in the beginning, I think I relied on just creating a relationship with people and doing that thing that I told you about, just keeping them in it for long enough. And they eventually got results. And now I've just been doing it for so long, I've become a much better coach. Like now I can actually coach people through whatever situations they're going through, whether they're too busy, whether it's family, whether it's work. Like you can't bring a situation to me that I can't have a conversation with someone about and coach them into, maybe it's not perfect, but it's going to get them on the path to optimization in time. Just because I've been doing it for so long.
Almost like a therapist too. It's
100%.
And I hear about this all the time. It's like if you build a relationship with someone again, and you're all ears, and you give us an outlet to talk, and like we'll tell you our problems. This is why I'm frustrated. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm angry about.
You just have to be a good listener.
Yeah.
And you know how people always talk about, they tell their barbers everything. You heard that?
Yep.
Dude, nothing like a trainer.
Yeah.
Nothing like a personal trainer. Like you see your barber once a month. You see your trainer 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So that relationship builds and for sure it becomes a lot of therapy. And the other thing that I do enjoy about what we do is it is emotional. Like it does matter. And as they build confidence in you as their coach, these people will start to loosen up more and start to tell you more. Because in the beginning, I'm not going to lie. People lie.
Oh yeah, I do.
Especially when it comes to eating habits. People lie.
Yeah.
But as you build that relationship,
I lie to myself.
Yeah.
I lie to myself.
So how much do you think? So you're gonna lie to me
Yeah.
for sure. See, yeah. But as they build the confidence and the trust, they'll start to open up and they might not have ever opened up to anyone before.
And they may have never had the outlet to.
That's
They
right.
never had the sense of comfort. They never had. Man, and I think too, if you just give people a voice and you are genuine, like build that relationship and actually give a shit about what they're talking about. And I said this somewhere else. I can't remember what it was, but like if you wanted to be a turd about it, if you wanted to take advantage of people, if you just listen to them and like build a genuine relationship with them, you can really manipulate them and kind of do what you want with them because of the fact that like. These people have opened up to you. You're all ears. You're all support. You're all this. That just becomes the fine line between are you a good person?
Yeah. Then
yourself?
the ethics
Yes.
start to come into involved.
And it's just like, no, this person opened up to me. This person trusted in me, is here sharing their deepest secrets or personal issues with their health, their fitness. I just morally can't let this person down. Back to the thing. Because I was here before.
Empathy.
And yes.
That's the word we were looking for
Yes,
earlier.
that's what it is.
Empathy. Yeah, I have that empathy with them, right? Because I've been through and I think that it really is back to that point, it's like an understanding of both sides of the field. Like I know, not only do I know what you're going through, but I know what it feels like, and I know what it feels like on the other side too. And trust me, I'm not trying to say where you're at is bad, but where I'm at now, I can tell you is 1,000 times better than where I was
And I did
before.
it. Like I did it.
And I am not special.
Yeah.
I am not special in any way.
I think most people struggle with like the discipline to break a routine. It's so easy just to go to the norm of like, I'm just gonna go out and have some pizza and drink some beer.
That's what happens.
And then you, but then also too, like you have to want it enough. Like I get to the point to where like I'm disgusted with myself. Like when I hit a certain weight or when I've been following this trend of like not doing anything productive or like health wise good for me, I look at myself and I'm like, you are a slob. And I'm like, you need to just move or do something. And if you're not going to do that, at least don't go out drinking or don't go out eating or don't go out partying or doing whatever. Just go run. And I find myself, so I struggle. I don't want to say I struggle with it because I've never really been like diagnosed by it or whatever, but I've got some couple triggers where I can kind of go into depression. And I've gotten a lot better at feeling those triggers when they start to come in. And normally what I would go do is I would go do this, this, and this when those triggers are there. Well, then that pushes me into the late night, and then that pushes me into sleeping in, and then I wake up and I feel like shit. So as soon as I start to feel those triggers, dude, I just go outside, I go run. And I'm like,
attack.
At least push through. You know the signs. You've been here before. This is your trigger. And it has never been anything different if you just follow through with it, right? Like if you the trigger hits, you don't do anything, you follow through with what you normally follow through, and you end up back in the same cycle. And it's really fucking silly. And it's just like, when are you going to do something about it and not go down the same path? Light came on, trigger. Where do you go? You know this path. You know, you may not know which path you need to go, but you know for sure this path doesn't work. So I just go run. And that's why I started running. And that's why I started kind of posting it to kind of hold myself accountable and like talking to you about it. You were running, and I think one of my other friends was running, and there's a lot of people that are running, and I'm like, okay, I watch their times, and like 8-minute miles and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna get this shit, I'm gonna get this, but
I'm with it.
A little more consistent. It helps me. Like it just helps me, and
you have to do hard things.
You have to get uncomfortable too, man.
Yeah.
Like you have to get uncomfortable, and and it just kind of goes back to like the same thing where if you keep having the same results, what are you changing? You're doing the same shit. Do something different. That doesn't work for you, and certain things don't work for me. And I'm in a position now where like I a lot more now am learning to be out of those triggers of depression or whatever. I am a lot more fortunate and blessed and in a good position. And I mean, health wise, career wise, I mean, I look back on it sometimes and I'm like, what are you stressing about? Like, you don't have real problems. Like, you are putting this imaginary stress on yourself, and then you freak yourself out. And what is it? The outcome isn't going to change. It's not in your control. Take action, go work out, go run, go do something. I don't know. Read. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to do something to break the cycle, and something that, like, I talk to people about their eating habits all the time, right? So it's like when you eat bad, you feel bad, and then when you feel bad, you don't work out, and then when you don't work out, you feel bad, and when you feel bad, you eat bad, right? But when you eat good and feel good, then you perform good. When you perform good, you feel good, and you feel good, you eat good, and it's kind of this exponential cycle. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with that. When you do hard things and overcome them, you feel good. So when you feel good, you do more things to make you feel good.
It's like getting acclimated. You have to get acclimated to the act of feeling good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of people have normalized feeling bad.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing.
It is. No, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm watching videos and watching different podcasts and I try to do a lot of like self-development and like how can I improve on a daily basis? What can I do better as a person? How do I break the cycle, and how do I be this, especially like people watch this stuff and people like, there's a little audience following me around, and I'm just kind of like, this is cool. The fact that people watch this stuff. So it's like, for all it's worth, like, do it for those people. Do it for the small group of people that actually look up to you. Like, somebody reached out and was like, hey, I watch your stuff and I like your stuff and I'm rooting for you. And I was like, at least one person does. So it is all worth it. And like, I fight that battle. Just keep doing better. Keep moving. Take action, and just get uncomfortable, really.
Yeah, something that really helps me out is to think about someone that you know looks up to you. You know what I mean? And I know that at this point in my life, I want to be someone that people, and I'm not trying to sound like cocky or anything, but like, I want to be someone that people look up to, because somebody's got to do it. And then the person that looks up to you will hopefully feel the same way, and then our world will become a better place.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone felt that way, then our world would be a much better place, right?
I see your stuff sometimes, and like, you know, you'll run and you'll go do something, or y'all will be doing something. I'm just like, all right, I got to step my game up. Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to, and I know I didn't want to, but I'm going to do it. You know, and that's what I started eliminating a lot of that word out of my mouth. It's like, but, like, man, I want to go run, but I'm tired. Oh, man, I want to go run, but I don't have enough time. Man, I need to stop right there.
Yeah.
What do you need to do? Again, back to like where your foundation came from the small business owner you were working with before, like those common core foundations, like what needs to get done? Simply just running.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to maintain that, because without the health, without that confidence, dude, it affects a lot of stuff.
I consider my fitness part of my job. And it's probably easier for me to say that than someone else, because obviously, like, I'm in the industry, right? But I think for everyone it should be. Because do you want to perform the best you can at work? Do you want to be the best real estate agent you can?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, you better be the best you can be.
Dude, I'll top that off too, because I look around the room and I'm like, well, do you want to work with a guy that's not in at least somewhat shape or whatever? Do you want to? And I don't know, like, I look at it from like something more than just a physical thing. Where like, if this guy's in good shape, he's dressed nice or whatever, this guy obviously has the discipline to keep that figure and keep that structure in line. So if this guy has the mental capability of doing that, this guy probably has the discipline to do other things.
That's right.
Or other things are in line. And I think people sleep on that. Like, it's not so much just the physical thing about it, but it's the mental thing that you're breaking through that gives you the core fundamentals that you can apply in anything in life.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what OTG is. That's what Only the Greatest is. You just nailed it. And it's so much more than the physical.
Yeah.
It's the mental. It's and you know, some people don't like to talk about this, but it's the financial. It's the stability. You know, it's everything. It's all of it. It all requires discipline. The person that can be changing your eating habits is hard. If you can change your eating habits, lose weight, when your eating habits have been bad in the past and you've been overweight, dude, you can do anything. It's like, you know, when you're addicted to food, you have to eat. It's kind of like telling an alcoholic, hey, man, you can drink, bro, but you can only have one every day.
Bitch.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? Like, but what I'm saying, yeah, it requires a very disciplined person. And then if you take that discipline and you apply it to the other parts of your life, and that's what I try to say, like, that's what I did. And the only way that I can advise people is by my own personal experience. This is what I did. I lost weight. I felt better. My confidence went up. And now I live a life that I could never have imagined, you know, when I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, dude, I told a story on on our podcast a couple weeks ago. I remember going to a kid's house. I was either like 10 to 12 years old, somewhere in that range, maybe 11, 10, 11, or 12, one of those years. And I walked in their house and they had stairs in their house.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Bro, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I had never seen stairs in a house. Like, your parents must be billionaires, dude.
Yeah.
His closet was as big as my room. I very clearly.
Yeah.
I remember the house. I remember the door. I remember the stairs. Very clearly. And it's the same principles that you apply to fitness that will help you go from that little kid that I was to, and not saying that my life is anything special, but compared to that, like, you know, it's quite a bit different. You know, my cats, like,
You got stairs, bro.
my cats have their own room.
Yeah.
That's bigger than the room I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But you worked
It's
your ass off
wild.
for it, and you've grinded, and you've put in the hard work, and you put in the you did the work.
Right.
So like you've earned it. Like I think I might have heard it on something, or I can't remember when I was talking to my brother about it, and he was like, "Man, I struggle with the fitness stuff," and I was like, "I should probably save a little bit more," you know. And he's like, "Yeah, I just don't know, whatever." And I was like, I had told him this, and I was like, I don't know where I heard this from, and it stuck with me because it's not that you can't do it. You just don't want to because you have the discipline to keep everything financially A1, right? Mm-hmm. I have the discipline to keep the fitness stuff A1, right? So it's not that we can't do it because it's the same common core structure across the board. What it is to be disciplined finances in business or whatever the case is, take what you're good at structural wise, discipline wise, and apply it toward the thing that you lack.
100%.
And whether it's fitness, whether it's finances or whatever, it's not that you can't do it because if you couldn't, the other thing that you're good at, you wouldn't be able to do that either. Like if you physically couldn't do something across the board, okay, then maybe you just can't do this stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you can't do one, but you can do the other one and you can excel completely at the other one, take the same core foundation and apply it over here.
Yeah, I think what happens here is we live in, unfortunately, quite a negative society. So if people are really good, let's use your examples just to kind of keep this in alignment with the fitness and the finance thing, right? Someone is really good at finance, but they can't figure out fitness. Well, have you ever tried? If you're good at finance, you probably are a whiz with spreadsheets. You probably know all your bank accounts and all your investment accounts, and you probably have them all lined up. They're all super organized. Have you ever done that with your fitness? Probably not. And that's the reason that and vice versa. If somebody says, said they're shredded six-pack year-round, but they can't get their finances right. Well, have you ever tried as hard? It's usually because you fall into what you like.
Yeah.
And the same thing in business, right? What we were talking about earlier, like it's always hard, but if you find something that you like enough, it's worth it. So because you like the spreadsheets, you spend more time on them and you don't try that hard for your fitness, or you only try for a day or two. Or vice versa, you're really good at fitness, bad at finance. You go to the gym 7 days a week, but you spend 1 hour a year on January 1st on your finances.
And that's something, somebody brought that up in one of those shows I was watching. It was, what's really sad is when you see a rich, billionaire or millionaire or whatever the case, and they are just in the worst shape.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like,
hate that.
That sucks. Could
hate
you
seeing
imagine
that.
like having all the money in the world or an abundance of money, but you physically can't use it or you physically can't go do certain things because you just hadn't physically taken care of your body. And it's just like, dang, that would suck,
I hate seeing
That's why I
that.
don't want to be rich.
I want to be both. I ain't holding nothing back. I'll tell you, I want to be both.
Where's OTG go from here, and what's the plan? What's the vision for it? Because you, again, not to say like you were born with it or whatever, but like people like you, people like myself, people like Ryan, right? Coastal Junker Movement.
Oh, Jared.
My buddy, like any small business group or oriented person. It's a curse and a blessing because it's like there's
always more.
There's always more, right? So where's OTG go from here?
Right now, we're really focused on the podcast and growing that platform to be able to do more online
Why
stuff.
though? Because what just happened with that? You told me earlier.
Oh, yeah. Last week, we actually got 2 direct clients from the podcast. which is great. You know, we've been doing it for 2 years. And so now hopefully that will compound for sure. But even beyond that, it's just to expand the reach of Only the Greatest. Like we want to show people that, you know, Only the Greatest is here to help you become the greatest version of yourself. Like we want OTG to be a household name, to be as popular as any other brand that there is. And because I know that it can change people's lives. And initially, my goal was to have 11 gyms between Galveston and Houston. And our model is personal training, you know, so it's definitely, it can still fit its way into different pockets and stuff, but because the business model is just different. But, you know, initially I wanted to have 11 gyms between Galveston and Houston. Now that's changed a little bit. The idea of franchising has come into my mind. There's only one other major franchise that I know of in our industry that does personal training. There's a lot of fitness franchises, right? Like, you know, all the boot camps and stuff like that. But that is personal training like we do. There's only one other one. And I really wanted to be the first to market. But that's we failed at that. But that's okay. But right now we're really focused on the podcast and growing the reach to be able to do something more online. We tried some online stuff during COVID. It didn't really vibe with me. I think that we just kind of took the wrong approach. At this point, I think I'm just more of that extrovert side of me has come out, and I just do much better with people in person. But we definitely want to do something online as well, just to grow like apparel and stuff like that. But currently, it's the podcast, and then hopefully, I think that if you would have asked me like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, even, I'd have been like, yeah, we're ready to open another gym now. Not even close. Not because there's just, you know, there's a lot of systems that need to be dialed in. We just hired like kind of like a GM type of person to where I can, you know, they don't really need me anymore for much of anything. And that's not the case yet, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to where they can run the show without me.
Do you struggle with kind of like starting to get into the route where like you have to like, not have to, but like you're delegating a little bit more?
No, because remember we talked about this a couple times now already, where it's not all easy. Yeah. There's plenty of stuff that I don't want to do.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And there's stuff that I do want to do for sure, but I've definitely transitioned my mindset into, I know what I need to do at this point, or I think I do. We always think we do, but I know that a year from now, I'm going to look back at this conversation and be like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
You weren't even close.
Yeah.
You know, but I really do feel like we're right on the brink of, you know, now we don't spend very much on marketing anymore. Like we don't have to. It just kind of happens organically, where we're continuing to grow at a rate.
The podcast bringing.
Yeah, between the podcast and, you know, referrals and just good old word of mouth. And then obviously we have Sean on the social media, so our social media looks real good.
The wizard. Shout out to the wizard.
For sure. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm miserable at social media personally. So Sean, just like, that dude holds it down for our stuff, and it's just so helpful to me, you know. So what's on my mind right now really is, believe it or not, actually getting out of the gym and working with Sean more, like on content creation. We're going to start doing 2 podcasts a week. I'm going out of town. Me and my girlfriend and I are going to be traveling a little bit next month. So
you got to take Sean so we could record the whole.
I thought, yeah, man, it'd be expensive to get another ticket to Japan.
Sean, you're going to Japan, bud.
Yeah. So when we get back from that, though, we want to go to 2 podcasts a week. So Tuesdays and Fridays. So we're going to be doing that, and then just growing the brand as a whole. And then for sure, I really do think that, especially with Justin at the gym now, between Justin, Mondo, and Kevin, man, those guys are special, and they can hold that place down. We do need one more. We are running a little short staffed right now, so everybody's on a little like OT.
I'll work pizza day. You guys have a pizza day? I'll work that.
You just bring it in.
Yeah, bring in pizza and like, hey, have a good day.
Yeah,
here's your slice.
Man, that sounds. I do like some pizza for sure, but not very often. But when I do like some pizza. So yeah, we need to hire one more person for sure. But for the most part, these guys can hold it down, and hopefully we can go ahead and start opening some more gyms. You know, hopefully by the end of this year is really my goal.
Do you fear you may go a little bit more to like commercial style, or like is that something that like how do you?
What do you mean?
You know, like you got, what is it? The not Snap Fitness.
Oh,
or
no.
No. Okay, so what are some of the things that you're going into? I guess like non-negotiables for you, like
as far as like our model, like our business model, how we do things.
Yeah.
So we specialize in personal training, meaning that we don't allow people to like buy memberships.
Okay.
We don't do memberships.
Okay.
You pay for personal training, and then the 24-hour gym access and nutrition help and accountability and workouts and programs, all that's included free. You pay for personal training.
I got you.
And you have to do at least once a week for accountability.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, minimum once a week of personal training.
What happens if you don't? You boot them?
I guess, yeah, kind of.
No.
Well,
Everybody shows up.
We wouldn't take that person on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only work with people that want to be there. So we're real big on that. I do all the sales myself, like people that want to come in. Currently, that's like my main role, right? Is doing the sales.
How do you screen people like that? Like what? I mean, what are some?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell. If I talk to someone on the phone, like here's a good example. A lady, I was yesterday, I was on a run, and then a lady came into the gym, and Justin talked to her, and he talked to her for a little bit, and then he got her phone number, and he was like, "Hey, Philip will call you." So I called her, and she just didn't sound very excited. And I was like, just let it go. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to beg this person to come in. If they come in and they say that it costs too much, and like, hey man, cool, let me know when the time's right for you.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. Here's what we have. We do it better than anyone else. I guarantee that. And if you want to be a part of our culture and our team, we got you.
Isn't that kind of messed up? How we'll spend money on everything else, but we'll skim out on like our own health and our own.
Yeah, that definitely happens for sure. I think that is I think it's just part in our culture, man. Because for sure, one thing that I talk to people a lot about is eating out, and a lot of times people will come in and say, "Oh man, I don't know about the price. I don't know if I can afford it." And if they really can't, cool, dude, no worries, man. I'm not worried about it. You get your situation right, and I'll be here when you're ready. Yeah. I ain't going anywhere, But let's have a conversation. Is this true, or is this a myth that you've convinced yourself?
How many times a week do you go out to eat? Like let's start tapping into
exactly. Start tapping into that stuff. How much money are you spending on alcohol? How much are you spending eating out? Like, what if I can tell you that I can help you save money even after you pay to come here by changing your eating habits because you're spending so much eating out, right? And so conversations like that, we'll have with people and just kind of figure it out. So I forget where we were going with that, but
I was just asking how you screen people and how you kind
of.
Oh yeah. You can tell. You can tell, like, especially me and sales too. Like when someone's like, "Hey, I've been thinking about doing this or whatever," some listing or buying or something like that, and you start asking some of these. People have been doing it for so long that like there's a structure you can follow, and like you can kind of get a feel for that. Yes, someone's serious, or yes, someone isn't serious, right? You can ask certain questions, right? And it kind of gives you it opens up a door where you're like you can really see like you're not really serious, So same thing too. It's like you kind of get a feel for it, and again, you don't need every deal. You don't need every customer. You don't need all the business. You just need enough, and you just want good, genuine business because that'll last longer than. Burn and churn type of stuff.
What I've learned in our industry is that the people that you have to force to do it are going to be your biggest headaches later.
Yeah.
And no offense to these people. It just is what it is. But if I have to be a try-hard to get them to take advantage of our service, this person can give me a major headache in about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, you should want to do. I think that's where it ultimately comes down to in anything, whether it's a career change in business or whatever the case is. It's like ultimately you have to come down to the fact that like you want to do it.
Right.
I am not satisfied where I'm at. I look myself in the mirror. I look like a slob. Like I'm not. This is not me anymore. Like I'm making a change, and you just got to get fed up with yourself.
And I think a big part of us, like as a coach, a big part of me. Is if they're on the fence of whether they want to do it or not, then that's where the coaching part of me comes out and helps them convince themselves that they do want to. I ain't trying to convince you of anything for myself. I'm trying to convince you to convince yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you ask those questions where they answer it themselves, and they're kind of like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
They kind of just did it. And
exactly.
I saw something, and it went something along the lines of like, when people say, hey, I don't know, let me think about it. And it's like, well, when you say, I don't know, let me think about it, it's because you lack information, right?
Yeah.
I'm information.
Right.
What information are you missing?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can figure out like if this is something you want to do or something you don't want to do. Which no, it's good, dude. I definitely, dude, I've been working out and staying in the gym consistently over the course of like, man, I think I was like in not 8th grade. I was probably like in 11th grade or 12th grade. I remember what happened. I broke up with this girl and I tried to get her back and she said, my boyfriend has bigger muscles. And I was like, man, this sucks.
Never again.
So like I started going to the gym. Well, then I saw him at the gym and I was like, man, I want to punch this dude in the face. But then I seen his muscles and I was like, he is pretty big. Not happening. And then that's kind of how it started for me. And then ever since then, I just like it ultimately, if you look at like from that moment on to this moment now, like I've been in the gym consistently, right? Mm-hmm. Does it dip? Yes. Do I take some time off? Yes. Do I fight it? Yes. But overall, the gym has been a part of me and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. Stressful day, workout. Good day, workout. Feeling bad, feeling good, whatever, workout. It feels good. The confidence when a shirt fits nice, you know, yeah. I mean, when dude, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know how people can't, find some sort of like satisfaction or addiction in this.
Yeah, that's the biggest
man.
thing. And let that confidence roll into everything else. Like when I first started Only the Greatest, I wanted it to have these different pillars of like fitness on one side, investing, and then like financial stuff, and then maybe even like a self-confidence piece of the equation, like therapy type of thing. But now I'm more settled on like just let people feel good. And if they feel good, things will figure themselves out.
Yeah.
If I can help this person have real self-confidence, then they're going to perform better at work. They're going to get that raise that they've been wanting. If they're a business owner, they're going to run a smoother business. They're going to have better, more productive employees because they're going to be a better leader. Just everything about it will help you improve different areas of your life. And if you make that correlation, you will be a successful person. And in whatever success is defined
in your eyes.
Yeah, your definition of success.
What do you think is one of the biggest things, or I don't have time. Like, how do you counter that?
Usually just, that's a conversation. That's going to vary from person to person because that's a very vague statement. I've had this conversation happen where people are like, man, I just don't have time. And then it's as easy as, well, what do you do now?
Yeah, I just, I'll play video games or something.
Yeah, and then usually I'm serious. Like that's usually, now people that legitimately don't have time, well, because of work, maybe they're a business owner, high-level manager, stuff like that. Then we will usually just, I'll get a good old pen and paper out and we'll just jot down what their schedule actually looks like.
Well, and that's sometimes too, like that's because of those jobs, it's sometimes like super important that you actually do take time away from yourself so you're not running yourself to the ground.
And what I usually, and when that becomes the case, usually in my little, as I'm jotting these things out, every day has 24 hours in it, right? Well, what happens is when you work out and you feel good, and you have confidence and you become more productive, your 24-hour day turns into 26 hours. Because, you stopped for 45 minutes to work out, but you gained an hour and a half because of your productivity.
Oh, smart. I never thought about it like that.
That's a big conversation that I have with high level. I'm saying like a higher
That's
achiever.
That's true. Because you're not working out, you're sluggish, you're in a funk, you're not in your prime, and then
dude, when you're zoned in, how much work can you get done in 2 hours?
Oh, a lot.
Zoned in.
Dude, when I get done running and I come back and like I'm like, yeah, my legs are sore, but like my blood's flowing.
But your mental state.
And I'm moving and it's just like
yeah, you can get 5 hours of work done in 1 hour. Yeah. And that's that conversation that I'll usually have with someone if they're on that level. But it's not, I would say that's only like maybe 20% of the time. The other 80%, it's really just like, let's check your screen time on your phone, like how much video games, how much TV. Is it maybe that you feel like you don't have time because you're just so freaking tired all the time because you don't work out, right? Yeah. You remember when you eat good, you feel good, you feel good, you do good, you do good, you feel good, right? Well, when you don't do good, you don't feel good, you don't feel good, you don't do anything, right? So maybe we just need to actually set a spark, and I'm just letting you know it's gonna be real hard for the first 2 to 4 weeks. but after 2 to 4 weeks, it'll lighten up. Yeah, you might have to go a little short on sleep or whatever, just for this first month. And then let me tell you, your productivity will increase. And we're going to turn 24 hours into 26 because you're going to get more productive. And I have some very high level clientele that you can't tell me you're busier than they are.
Yeah. You just got to want it. You got to want it.
And you have to want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to want it for sure.
What's your diet like? Do you count your macros or do you do you like visually now kind of
yeah, I tracked for a long time. I would say I probably tracked everything I ate for years. Now I don't anymore. Now I'm a big fan of, and this is what I recommend to most people as well.
Chick-fil-A. Me too, man.
Well,
it's great.
lots of Chick-fil-A, lots of Whataburger. Midnight Slice is my personal favorite.
Okay,
Now I'm just a fan of...
That's in Houston, right?
No, it's in Seabrook.
Oh, that's right. It's on the other side. Okay.
Yeah, it's real good. That's my favorite pizza place. But now, for the most part, whole foods diet, right? Not get away from the processed sugars and processed carbohydrates. Sugar is not bad for you, but when you combine it with fat and you overeat, now it becomes bad for you, right? So... yeah, just a whole foods diet is the main thing that we really push. And it very much depends on the personality of the person, because if you want to know what I eat, dude, my diet is very boring. I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of potatoes.
Bro, I eat oatmeal, just packs of oatmeal.
I don't eat a lot of oatmeal, to be honest. I do sometimes, but it's not my favorite thing. I'm a lot of red meat.
Yeah.
A lot of eggs, fish, salmon, white fish as well, chicken thigh, chicken breast, turkey a little bit, potatoes,
so it's like a very
fruit. It's pretty basic. My diet's pretty boring. I meal prep, make a lot of steak and a lot of ground beef and a little bit of chicken usually, and then we'll cook fish for dinner sometimes. But a whole foods diet is really what I recommend for the most part. And then about once a week, my girlfriend and I do go out and eat whatever we want.
Yeah.
Roughly once a week.
You ever thought about competing or anything like that, or is not something? No, it's not just your.
No, not really my thing.
It seems like such a depressing phase to put yourself through.
I really like to think of fitness as an asset versus a liability.
It shouldn't be something so daunting and draining.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like to think of fitness as an asset. It adds to our life versus a liability that takes away from our life.
Sucks all the fun out of it. And
so I work out because I like to, and now I started running recently, which is just crazy. Whoever thought running would be fun? You know what I mean? Now I do compete in running, right? We do. All of us do. Me, Kevin, Mondo, Sean.
Yeah, I saw that y'all did there was a
half marathon.
Yeah.
So we're all going to do full marathon in January. The Houston Marathon, if you're in.
Sean, don't forget to train for it, because last time you said...
Well, Sean has a 10K this weekend.
Oh, shit, okay,
He did a 5K in Galveston when we did the half marathon. He had never run before. He went from 0 running to 5K in 3 weeks.
That's good, man.
I do real good. And he's got a 10K this weekend. And then I think he's going to do a half marathon with us later this year. And then I don't know if he's going to do I have not heard Sean say he was for sure going to do the full marathon. But all of us are a year ahead of him, right? So you couldn't blame him if he didn't want to take on the marathon.
Push the bar.
Sean is saying it right now. But yeah, we all run, and that's I really enjoyed that because it's something that we do together. We compete together as a team, and Kevin, man, this dude is a freak. He's just such a good runner, man. He did the Galveston in an hour and 33, an hour and. Wait a minute.
Is that 13 more?
13 miles. It was an hour and 38. Yeah, because he beat me by 10 minutes. And I did an hour 48.
And
this dude is... Yeah.
Well, the fact that you could just run that period is just screw the time.
So
the fact that you can run it...
He could be real good. So really one of my main goals for sure is to beat Kevin in a race.
Yeah.
And then Mondo, this dude just has heart. He just has so much heart.
He's the guy that his legs will fall apart, but he'll still keep crawling.
He'll finish, bro. He'll walk on his hands to finish, for sure. And then Sean is just really surprising me every time. He sends me screenshots of his runs, and it's every time he gets better.
He's a genuinely good person.
No doubt.
Even if you don't like some of the stuff that he does or whatever the case is, or you don't like him or whatever, you can't knock the fact that that dude is just... How can you hate him? He's just a genuinely good, kind-hearted person.
The other day, I was at Best Buy getting some... we recently started using iPads at the gym to help us stay a little more organized. We have man, we have over 170 personal training clients now. It's just crazy.
Damn,
so we started using these little iPads to like help stay organized and stuff. But one of the Apple pencils was like an open box, and I was like, hell yeah, Sean would be so proud right now because he's always looking for the deals, you know? And so anytime like I fix something up or, you know, buy something used.
I budgeted. Look.
Yeah. I'm like, Sean, Lou, check it out. Yeah. You know? And so, yeah, Sean, he's a really good dude. And like I said, you know, he started running too, and I'm really proud of him for doing that.
Do y'all normally run on the weekends, or what's y'all's run schedule normally?
I mean, we don't run together necessarily like to train, but we run the races together.
I got you. Okay.
I mean, me and Kevin did one in October, and then me, Kevin, Mono, and Sean all together there in Galveston.
When's the most recent one, or the next one coming out?
The next one, we're going to be doing this, they call it the Bridge Series. I have not signed up. We have not signed up for these, but we're pretty committed to them. It's 3 races. I think that it's September, October, November, 1 per month, and it's called the Bridge Series. It's because it's 2 10Ks and a half marathon. The 2 10Ks are over Galveston, the Causeway in Galveston, and then over the Kemah Bridge. And then the half marathon is the Fred Hartman Bridge. So we're doing those in preparation for the full marathon in January. And so if
I'm just
you're
gonna run my little 2.3 miles.
Nah, you're in, dude.
Well, y'all send me the details. Send me the details, and then whenever y'all get them, and I'll train for it. I'll just leave it at that. Because I
saw some of the times you posted the other day, dude. You can do a half for sure.
Oh yeah. I think I can. It's just one of those things. Again, it's just pushing myself through it. And a lot of times, like the other day, like I left my headphones at work, and I was like, man, I don't have my headphones. I don't want to run. And it's like, you spoiled sissy brat. Like you need headphones to run.
Yeah.
And it was like I needed to get in my own headspace and like just listen to me breathing, listen to the rhythms, the cars, be out there, get uncomfortable.
What do you usually listen to when you run?
Like podcasts.
Yeah, same.
Something that like, not music, because music I just get the rhythm and I just kind of get boring. Something that keeps me like listening and engaged.
Right.
Takes my mind off the fact that like my ribs are starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
My leg. But yeah, and then also like I try to like control my breathing. So I breathe in through my nose and just roll like slow out through my mouth. Mm-hmm. And then also too, I try to flex my abs as I'm running the whole time.
Yeah, that's helpful. I found that, or sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I found that
podcast over.
Yeah. I like listening to podcasts when I run too. I like being in deep thought.
Yeah, me too.
During the run,
which is why when I would miss my headphones and I didn't have them with me, I was like, I can't run. And it's like, wait, that's your cop out. You sissy, like get uncomfortable, run. And when I ran, I was like, cool. And like I know where I need to go. And it's like, it's just right here. You ran it before. It's just to the you ran this before. What are you complaining about? I was like, just one more street, one more street. And before I knew it, I was like almost crawling over to the end. And it's like, you made it without the headphones. Man, definitely keep me updated. I will. I'll keep posting my little stuff, or maybe like we can do something online where like we just tag each other or something. And
sure.
Hold each other accountable. Man, where can people reach you?
Man, Only the Greatest or OTG Fitness, pretty much across the board. We have Sean keeps us up on all the social medias. We have YouTube channel is Only the Greatest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
I'll put all your handles in like the description and stuff.
All at OTG Fitness. Yeah. And it's just YouTube that's Only the Greatest, but everything else is OTG Fitness because YouTube is kind of where we want to continue to grow the long form content of the brand as a whole. And like, we just want Only the Greatest to be more than OTG Fitness is a gym in Webster, right? Only the Greatest is a brand that can change the world. Yeah. Right. So that's the difference, you know, so
that's something else that you can have another episode on. It's like where your brand is and then where you're trying to go with your brand. Cause I do the car thing. I do the real estate thing, but then it's like, do I want to be the car real estate guy? Do you want your realtor to be the car guy? Do you want the car guy to be the realtor? Like, is it a brand around you? This is what you get with Fernando. Like, how do you structure it? Do I separate the car from the real estate stuff? Like,
man. But I think that, I mean, you can be a professional real estate agent that specializes, or not necessarily specializes, but
in just garages.
All of
your garage.
All of your customers are car people.
Yeah, and right? I think that's one of the things too for me. Like when people are like, how do you get this? How do you get this? It's like, just have fun with it. Like just have fun with what you're doing. Like, hey, nice car. Hey, nice this. Nice. Oh, you got this on here. Oh, cool. Hey, are you on social media? Cool, I'll follow you. Oh, and then I get a follow. And then it's like, hey, that guy's a real estate agent, but he also has that sweet truck or sweet car or whatever the case is. So like, just, I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. I really don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I enjoy these. I enjoy talking to people. Like, you know, it brings your audience to me. It brings my audience to you. Yep. It gets people know, like, there's maybe I have friends that live in Seabrook or you know, in Webster, wherever the case may be, that may want something different. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I don't want the commercial gym. I want to just maybe more, you know, inclusive, my own personal trainer where I don't have to worry about people like talking to me or like chicks, you know, being hit on or whatever, or dudes being hit on. Like, I just want to go in there and train, and I don't want that commercial deal. OTG, man, come see them, come talk to them, and just get a feel for them, and just make sure you bring your A game. All right, bring your A game. Don't come with no, you know,
they're coming like
wishy washy.
Yeah, they're like, I heard, I'm one of Fernando's followers.
He's bringing pizza Fridays, so sign me up for Fridays. No, dude. Again, thank you for sitting with me and taking the time out of your day. I know we were gonna do it last time, and I apologize for that. I just dropped the ball. Work got too much, and I just was. I need to use my calendar a little bit better.
Dude, I live and die by. If it's not on my Google Calendar, it ain't happening.
I'm usually good at remembering stuff, man. But like, man, I got so caught up in everything that I was doing, and I let night shift just kick my butt, dude.
Yeah.
And I was just, I felt so bad, and I'm like, you are a POS. I was like, dang, you know, and I just. It happens, man. But again, thank you for giving me the opportunity again to do this again. Man, and if you guys need anything from me, like from car stuff to whatever, dude, just reach out.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you letting me come on here because, like I said, we want to continue to grow, and if we can help each other out in any way, then that's what's.
And then we're practically neighbors, man. You can literally like run to each other's houses.
Yeah, I didn't even when you sent me the address, I was like, man, that seems kind of close.
Yeah,
and then
it's like
when
8
I
minutes
looked it
or
up,
7 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Did you run here?
Be a lot cooler if you did. I thought about it, but I came from the gym, so you know. That's
all right, man. Again, thanks for sitting with me. You guys can check out all his stuff. I'll put it in the description, all the handles and everything like that. So follow them, give them check their page out, check their podcast out, and until next time.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.